Good evening and welcome. This is Whole and Beautiful. I am Angela Oliphant, your host, and I am so glad that you all have joined me tonight for a night of information, revelation, and change. It is another phenomenal night. We're going to have a great night tonight. I wanted to just go over some things with you all. I am still asking that if you would like to be a guest on the show, just to let me know. Send me an email at wholebeautiful@gmail.com. I'm doing some different things this year. So I'm looking forward to what is about to happen and what is about to come forth throughout the course of this year. You're going to see some changes and they're going to be good changes. And I'm looking forward to what is going to transpire throughout the course of this year. So my whole and beautiful nation, I thank you for sticking with me. I thank you for being there. Make sure that you like, you comment, that you share this broadcast with someone. Let them know that Whole and Beautiful is on. And tonight we're going to have some information that they will need during this year. We're going to be talking to someone tonight about our taxes, about accounting services, and it's going to be informative. It's going to help you if you're trying to grow your business, if you need that financial piece for your business, or you need to know about filing your taxes and what you need to do and some questions that you may have. Then tonight is the night that you want to be on. So you want to make sure that you talk to somebody, let them know that Whole and Beautiful is on, and we are going to share some information with you on tonight. And hopefully it will help you when you're filling out your taxes this year. It will help you when you're working on that business that you want to work on, because sometimes we start that business, but then we don't think about the financial part of the business. So I want you to make sure that you are sharing tonight. And if they don't get to see us tonight, they can see us again on Saturday at 4 p.m. Well, tonight, guys, I want to get you ready to bring in my guest tonight. Her name is Kyra Whitmore, and she is going to join us, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself, and then we're going to get into that interview. So let's bring in Kyra Whitmore, and so that we can talk to her and find out the information we need concerning her and concerning her business. Kyra, you there?
And how are you?
There you go. Good evening. How are you, Kyra?
Oh, very productive. Tax season open Monday, January 24th. So we've been running with 10 toes down and 10 fingers to the keys and making everybody happy.
Okay. Kyra, before we get started, I want you just to let everyone know who you are, what you do. Give us a little bit of information about yourself before I dive in with these questions, because I want to get as much information from you as possible on tonight, to let people know, and that they will be, so they can be informed when they're going out to do taxes, and not only just taxes but also their business, when they're working on their businesses, because I want them to know the full aspect of everything as much as we can get in within this 45-minute period of time. So tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and when you started your business, and the whole 9 yards. Let's see, who is Kyra Whitmore?
Well, thank you so much, first and foremost, Miss Angela Oliphant, for inviting me and having me on the show. I thank God because without him, all this would not be impossible. I started when I was 16 years old, working for my boss at an accounting firm. And so, I just kept the pace and I learned. I made many mistakes. I got fussed at. I got called into the boss's office. A lot of what people don't want to go through, and they ready to give in and throw in the towel. But I stayed. I got chewed out, and I learned from my mistakes, and I just, was a hardworking and innovative professional. And so I have done that for at least 32 years. I will be 49 this year, and I haven't stopped. And so um, I have experience in payroll and bookkeeping and diverse tax resolutions, tax preparations, individual. individuals, businesses. So yes, we're here to help you all, and we can
Well, we'll
service
make
you.
that happen here
I mean,
just
I started my own business
real quick.
2004. Um,
I think that's good enough.
because I was mother. We started having children after I got married. After I got married, and so with daycare was so expensive, and it was expensive, and I was like, Lord, if I go out and work a job, I'm just working a job to pay child.
Yes.
So that's what really, sparked me to do what I've already been taught. I'm like, well, I've been on this job so long, I have this experience. Why don't I just start my own business? And that's what I did. And
Okay.
and at that time, um, I didn't have the money and couldn't afford to start my business because with my daughter, I had to be on bed rest the entire 9 months. Okay. So I just prayed and asked God, and God put it on somebody's heart. They blessed me with a printer. Um, I waited until they had the tax software on sale, like everybody else. They're doing TurboTax. That's how I started in the beginning. And I bought all of my supplies, my office supplies, around school time. So the penny deals and the penny sales, yes, will buy supplies. So you
Yeah.
can do it. You can start a business. You know, you just have to decide is this is what you're gonna do. If you're gonna pursue it, you're gonna do it. And then you put together a plan, and God will provide the rest for you. You just gotta believe in yourself first before anybody else can believe in you. And so and one thing about me is when I started the business, I didn't jump out there and try to do everybody's taxes. If I
Right.
didn't know it, I didn't mess with it. If it's something I didn't know, I called the IRS. So
Okay.
at rest, then that's how my business grew. It grew as I got more knowledge. So
Yeah.
knowledge, wisdom is the key. You got to have wisdom and you got to have knowledge.
Yes.
People are not going to pay for you to do their taxes and mess them up.
Now that is true because you do have that happen where somebody don't quite understand, but they do it anyway, and then
Yep.
somebody end up in a world of like trouble with the IRS, and different things happen, and they're getting money garnished from their checks and not even getting a check because they did something wrong. I've seen so much happen with so many different people who have tried to venture out there and really didn't have the knowledge about it, and that's why we want to get them. That's what it's about, is giving them information, and then they get that revelation. That means that they start to understand it, and they can start to change what they're doing. um with
And
your
other thing is that
uh-huh.
I'm hoping a whole lot of people are chiming in because what you fail to realize is IRS don't care about you per se. They represent the government, meaning that if you're on Social Security fixed income, they are garnishing Social Security. I have seen it numerous times. They have come and taken people Social Security, their fixed income. I've had one client call me, I think it was Christmas morning, because they levied their account. So you got to make sure that you are investing into a tax professional that has integrity, that
Yeah.
knows what they are doing. You got to invest in it.
Yeah.
And that's what corporate America does.
Yes, you have, and and really it's an investment for yourself to make sure that you're treating yourself right. We do that with so many different things, but a lot of times when it comes to money or comes to our businesses, different things that we're doing, sometimes we may try to cut corners or people try to do different things, but it's worth the money that you pay that person that has the knowledge to do it. That
Yep,
way you know it's done right, and you're not going to lose down, further
correct.
down the road. It may not hit you today, but it's going to come back at you if you're doing it wrong. So we want to
Correct.
make sure that we're doing things correct, and that we're doing things right, and that we are putting investing, really, it's really like an investment to yourself, to make
Correct.
sure that your taxes are done correctly, to make sure that everything is on the up and up, so that later down the line you don't find out, oh man, I did this wrong, or I let this person do this just to let them do it, and they didn't have the real knowledge about it, and then you get burnt like later on down the road, and we don't want that to happen to the listeners, and we don't want that to happen to anyone else either. So make sure that you invest in yourself with investing in a professional that know what they're doing, that are knowledgeable about the tax laws, and knowledgeable about the things that they're doing for you. One thing that I did want to ask you too is I know I'm going like way over here, and then I'm going to come back to these other questions,
Oh,
but
that's fine. That's fine.
I've been thinking about this for a couple of weeks, because I saw a couple who started a business, and they were in their business, and they were working on some things, and then they found out when they hired an accountant, they found out that a lot of stuff that they were doing, they were like, you can't do this. Because they was showing them that they couldn't do certain things, that they had to get their business straight. They were making the money, but what they were thinking they were going to do with their money is just bank it. Everything was just going to go in the bank, and because they said they
Yes,
didn't know.
Lord.
But then they found out you don't do that way. Not when you get into a certain bracket. You're not just banking that money. And I was like, can you talk a little bit about that? Because a lot of times we think because we're getting this business and we're going to be operating in this business, that we just going to bank money, bank money, bank money. Your money just going to be in the bank. You're just going to pile it up. And then they found out that is not what you do. And that intrigued me. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good question. I want to ask that question when I get Carol on
Look,
here.
you,
Can you?
I mean, you can pile it up. You just gotta
Yeah,
realize you gotta pay taxes on it. Because if you don't,
right.
then like Department of Revenue, they'll come and padlock your business if you don't pay them sales tax returns, and they have no problem with doing it. And they don't care whether you got all that stuff, all your stuff in there. They don't care. So like I was telling Miss Oliphant, you know, you can go on the websites. So now, just like irs.gov, they're starting to put out like questionnaires and starting to have you go like through different surveys to help you and lead you and guide you into the right area. But it still goes back to you having to read. You still have to retain knowledge. And we call those type of people who are gifted in their gift in their business, they lack
Yes.
business etiquette because
Okay.
you feel like you're gifted in what you do and your money gonna sit in the bank, but then when it comes down tax time, you don't have your financials in order, you don't have your bank statements. um and people, you need to pull your bank statements down. You need to make sure you have hard copies of your bank statements, because now you hear people like, oh, well, I can get them online. But as bankers, yourself experience, they only go back like 12 months, maybe 16 months. And if
Yeah.
you got issues going on, because IRS have no problem with randomly auditing you, and when they hit you for 3 years and you can't get those bank statements, whatever they take off your tax return, you have to pay. So, like they told you, is yeah, you put it on your tax return, but it's your job to prove everything that you put on there is correct. And their job is to collect for the government. But this is what an IRS agent told me when he was randomly doing an audit for a client. And they had the attitude of saying, well, I'm just tired of him. I'm just tired of him. And I'm like, you don't understand. You're in an audit. It
Yeah.
could be worse.
Can you explain to those who are listening on tonight what an audit actually is and what they're doing?
Correct. Oh, that is so great because a lot of people don't know. So what happens is if there's something that you put on your tax return that don't look right, and I'm gonna give you a great example because I see them when they come through when I guess other people doing their tax returns. But if you're self-employed and you don't have no income on your tax return, and you have a negative number on there, a negative $100,000
Yeah.
is something you want to turn to the IRS. Negative anything, because their main thing is, well, how are you living? How are you paying your rent? How are you paying your light bill? How are you paying for your car? How are you putting gas in there if you're not showing anything on your tax return? And you definitely want to put a negative number on there. Um, and so what happens is that they decide, okay, well, let me audit you, let me contact you and let you know that these are the things that we need you to prove on your tax return, whether they're liable expenses that you really had and whether you had these things for your business. So that's another thing. When you're putting expenses on your business, you gotta make sure that it is allowable expenses. Your clothing is not an allowable expense for your business. They have taken off entertainment, so you no longer can claim entertainment on your tax return as a business. Okay, so um, like I tell my self-employed people, um, donations, you can't put donations on your business. If you're going to do something, you have to sponsor that nonprofit. You're going to have to sponsor that in order to get 100% write off now. Otherwise, all of your donations is going to go on your Schedule A. And as you know, with the Schedule A, they've changed it, whereas your standard deduction is so large now that even your contributions, if they're not, exceeding the standard deduction, then you no longer have to claim them.
Right.
So so whereas that could be a deduction on your side for your business, you just gotta change and learn what is allowable and what's not, and shape your business like that.
Yeah.
Nobody you had to ever stay on this same format. Oh no, I can't do this or I can't do that. Laws are changing every year. The government changes
Okay.
every year. So you need to stay up on breast and know what is allowable and what's not for your business. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
With
go ahead.
no, I was saying with I've seen it with working where I work, um, where people have written off a lot of things
Mhm.
and they're having to show their tax returns, and they're it's like what you're saying, it's like it's showing a negative, or it's showing all this stuff that's been written off, and now they're having a problem with getting a mortgage
Yeah.
because they can't prove that they're making. But they was like, okay, we know, we see you make the money, but you writing
Mhm.
everything off, so then we can't use that in order to help you get the house that you're trying to get or
And
get
I'm
the
glad you brought that up, because this is the problem that I'm having with a lot of people, because they come and say, "Oh well, I'm trying to buy a house and I need to show." Listen, let me tell you something. If you're in the process of buying a house, go ahead on and do your due diligence, pay your quarterly taxes, do all of that. Because one thing y'all people don't understand is that you don't want to have to keep going back and amending returns. Okay, you want to amend the returns because you want to take all the stuff off that you claim. IRS looks at all that. Those are red flags that will cost you an audit too, because they want to know why you taking the stuff off, putting it back on, why you doing this, why you doing that. So if you know these are things that you want to do, you go ahead on the plan and do your due diligence. Pay your quarterly taxes, and basically what you're doing is you're paying your self-employment tax anyway. All that's going to be reported to the Social Security and Medicare for you anyway. So it's not like you're giving taxes to the government and it's being wasted. It's not. It's actually being counted for you towards your Social Security and Medicare. So keep that in mind when you when it comes down, because the banks look at what your net is. Oh my God, my phone is about to die. I'm sorry. Um, they look at what your net is. They look at what your net is. So basically, what Ms. Oliphant is saying is that when it comes down to looking at your business returns, it's your income versus your expenses and whatever your net bottom line is. That's what they're looking at when it comes down to claiming and trying to get a house. You want to get a proof of mortgage. automobile. So what that bottom line says is what they're looking at. So if your bottom line is $421, you know you can't get a house with that. But
Right.
you get a refund, but you don't want to pay taxes. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So
Yeah.
if these are things that you want to do, you're going to have to show a profit, and you're going to have to pay taxes towards that.
Right. In order to get those things that you need. Do you need a break, Kyra, and then come back, or are you good?
Yes, I need a break right quick.
Okay, Alan, if you could take her. Oh man, we're gonna get back with Kyra in just a minute. She's having some difficulties, and I'm gonna get back with her soon. But what I wanted you all to realize with this is this: when we are filing our taxes, when we're saying that, you know what, we want to be blessed, we want our money to flow, we want our money to overflow into our accounts, and we want to just go forward and be those people that we have been called to be, realize that with that comes a responsibility. And sometimes we don't want the responsibility of having the funds, having that money in your life. Because it's not just having that money, or having that business. There is a responsibility with that business. There's a responsibility with that lifestyle that you want to live. You can't just have it and then not have the responsibility of the taxes, not have the responsibility of paying your taxes and doing your, what she was saying is doing your due diligence to make sure that you are doing everything that you need to do in order to make sure that you're on the up and up. You don't want to audit. You don't want them coming in to audit your paperwork and everything. But even if they do, you want it to be so organized and so in order that they say, hey, you know what? She or he is on the up and up, and there is nothing wrong here. Everything is lining up, precept upon precept. Everything is right where it needs to be. So, therefore, it's not going to cause any type of issue. So, what I want you to do is this year, I mean, a lot of people, I know you're getting ready to do your taxes if you haven't done them already. Make sure that you're doing everything on the up and up, and make sure that you are doing things the way that you need to do them in order to make sure that everything flows the way that it needs to flow and it goes the way that it needs to go, so that we can be a people of integrity, that we can be a people who know, not only know, if you don't know how to do finances, because with me, I'm not real good like with numbers. I really am not. So therefore I make sure that I go to somebody who does know numbers, somebody who does know the accounting side, somebody that does know that area. Now, with certain things I am very good at, and the things that I'm very good at, I work hard at it, and I will stay in there and work all day. Like, I can write, and I loved English when I was growing up. So things that got to do with writing, like writing the books and writing poetry and putting those words and stuff, guys, y'all been watching me for a while, I love words. So therefore I'm very good with words and putting words together. So but with numbers, sometimes it's not clicking for me. So I make sure that I have somebody that knows numbers, and that they know how to manage that. Because if I am going to a place where I'm going to need an accountant, I need to start like taking myself and say, okay, you know what about this? And what about that? And what would you do with this? And what would you do with that? I told you a few weeks ago about preparation. We got to prepare for where we want to go. We have to be prepared and know, okay, when I get to this point, this is what I need to do. When I get to that point, that is what I need to do. And just go forward and go learn. Go in and learn everything that you can about getting your own business. What is it going to take? A lot of us, we have a product or we have a service, and then we think we just going to run with it, and then we never look at the financial side of it. And we need to start taking a look at the financial side of it, and to make sure that we are operating the way that we need to operate in that area. Now, guys, if you have a question on tonight, I want you to put the question up, or I want you to send me that question that you may have to wholebeautiful@gmail.com, and I can get that information to Kyra. Or you can send her a question your own self at whitmoretax@att.net. That is Whitmore Tax, and it's up there on the screen for you. Whitmore
We'll make
Tax
that happen
at
here real
att.net.
quick.
That way you can get in contact with her. You can ask her a question, and she will get back with you. She will let you know the information that she gets. And like she said, she contacts the IRS, but a lot of times going on the IRS to call up and to sit there, sometimes you don't have the time to sit there for the long waiting period before somebody gets on the phone to talk to you. So if you get in contact with her, or you send me the question, I can get it to her. And then that way, she can answer the question if she has those answers available for you right then and there. And if she doesn't have it for you, she will get it for you and get it back to you, because we need the wealth of information about every area of our lives, not just, being, loving on yourself. I think part of loving on yourself anyway is making sure that your finances are taken care of, because a lot of people don't even realize, but I realize myself that finances can be very stressful on your life, on your marriage, on so many different things. It's like when I am financially stable, when I am in a place where I don't have to worry about money and having money to do things, it brings about a peace for me. And I'm sure it does bring about a peace for everybody else too. But and I realized that. So I was like, okay, I need to be a better steward over my money. I need to be a better steward over what I'm doing with my money. And when it comes to taxes, I need to make sure that I'm doing things correctly. I don't need to do them in the wrong way, because believe me, it's been done the wrong way before and I've been burnt. That's why I was like, hey, you know what? Let me bring somebody on here that can help you out and give you information that's going to help you, because we need help in all areas of our lives. Every area of our lives, we are not alone. We need somebody else. Even if I have the knowledge, then I may speak to somebody that has a little bit more than me. That way I can glean from them, I can learn from them. I can say, hey, you know what? I saw this come out the other day, or I've been looking at this online and I saw that they changed the law about this. What is this law? What is going to happen with this? What's going to happen with my social security? What is going to happen with taxes and the new forms that are coming out and the new stuff that's going on? What is going on? And you talk to somebody who knows the information. You know what? You don't have to sit and like read some of this stuff, because some of this stuff you don't understand reading it. I don't understand reading it. So I need somebody to talk to me. I need somebody to tell me so that I can better understand. And the way what I'm saying is this right here. This year, just this year, we have to take tests every year at my job. Every year they give you these assessment tests at the beginning of the year, and then you have a date where you have to finish up these assessment tests. This year they're doing something just a little bit different. They gave us the test, but the test is where you can watch the video, listen to the person talk. They talk to you about the product. They talk to you about the rules, the regulations, the different things that we have to learn, things that we go over every single year. So this time though, they have it on video and audio, so you can sit and you can watch it at your desk. You can listen to them talk. And I have done so much better this year, because it's not just me sitting and reading it. It is me sitting and listening to somebody talk to me about it. And when I'm hearing them talk and hearing them explain it, I was like, it was clicking, clicking, clicking. I was like, yes. I was better understanding it because I was seeing it, I was watching them, and I was hearing it. And they were putting stuff up on the screen and stuff. I said, man, I could take this test now. So I go to the end and I take the test, and I have been doing excellent this year. Usually it takes me a while because I'm reading it. I'm trying to process what they're saying. But when they are presenting it, they're explaining it. So therefore it helped me so much this year. So that's what I want for you all. I want you to be able to not only have it written down on paper, but have somebody to explain it to you. Because when they explain it to you, when you go to get your taxes done, a lot of times we just hand those people our paper and we just sit there and let them fill out. We answer what we need to answer. If they ask us any questions, and then we out the door. We don't ask no questions. We don't try to get into anything to try to figure out, why is this and why is that. And I know they're trying to just get you in there, get that stuff in there and get you out because they got more people that are coming in. But if you have a tax preparer that you're going to, you need to ask some questions. A lot of people just sit there, well, I want my refund. I want my refund. I want my refund. But you're saying you want a refund, but then you're also saying, I want to get to the place where I have, my own business. I'm making all this kind of money. When you making all that kind of money that you're talking about, you're not getting a refund. So you need to know what happens then. You need to know how to handle stuff then. You need to know which way to go then. So that's what I want you all to do. I want you to realize that it's not just a game. This is our lives. We need to take care of every part of who we are. And your finances is part of who you are. So you need to go and make that budget. You need to sit down and do that budget. You need to know what's going out of your house, what's coming into your house. When I started working in the banking industry, working in at a credit union, I didn't know a lot about how the flow of money is and the different things that went on and all this other things that they would talk about. I would just kind of blow that stuff off. I'll just put my money in the bank and go about my business. I get my account over here because if I get my account, I don't have to pay you to cash my check. Or back in the day when we were cashing checks, now they go straight to your direct deposit and all that good stuff. But I had to begin to understand banking. I had to begin to understand, how things work. And now that I'm working as a mortgage loan processor, I'm starting to learn a whole lot more about mortgages and how the money works and how the credit works and all this other stuff. That's why I'm saying, you know what, take care of everything, because the more that I'm learning, the better I'm at peace with a lot of stuff. Because a lot of times I would be just so on edge, and it was because I didn't know. And when new things come up, sometimes we are full of anxiety when you're going into a new thing and trying to learn a new thing. No, it's just something else you got to learn. It's just something else that you can open your heart and your mind up to and say, okay, I'm going to take this step by step. I'm going to learn, the information that I need to learn. Do I need to learn everything about a tax law or tax laws and stuff? If I'm not moving into that business, maybe not. But I need to know enough that would take care of me. So if somebody is trying to scam me or somebody is saying something that is not quite right, I know, okay, that's not right. That's not right, because I've studied this, I've asked questions, I've learned, and I've gotten the information and I've gotten it from a good source. So therefore I know that this information is not, what they're saying that it is. So you want to be informed about your finances, informed about your wealth, your health. When you go to your doctor, you want to make sure that you're informed. Ask questions. Don't just go and say, okay, I'm just going to get this little physical done and over with and I'm outdoor. No, you need to ask questions. You need to ask why. You need to find out as much information as you can. Learn about yourself. You're there for you, so learn about yourself and learn about your finances. Watch, print out a bank statement, bring it home with you if you're not getting paper, because a lot of people are not getting paper anymore. They're saying, they're doing it electronically, and that's good. But something, you need to get that bank statement. Go get one printed out for like, get 3 months of it. Sit down, look at it, and you will see where all your money is going. If you're saying, you know what, my money is just gone. At the end of the month, I don't even know what happened. I don't know what happened here, and I don't know what happened there. Go get the bank statement, look at it, go through it. If you get highlighters, get you some highlighters and highlight every time you went out to eat. Just mark it up and find out, where is that? And then you add it up. In that 3 months, how much money did you spend on going out to a restaurant? Hello, Pastor Madeline. How are you doing? It's good to see you on tonight. But you need to market. You need to find out where your money is going. You need to know what's happening with your money. And a lot of us just throw it away and don't even realize that we're throwing it away. And like I told you, invest into a good accounting service. If you have a business, let them take care of your financials. Stop trying to go to Pookie them and the other people over there across the street because oh, that's my friend, they're going to give me a break. No, I would rather pay the money and have somebody that knows what they're doing, that's going to take care of my finances if I'm in that area at that time. I want them to be able to take care of it. I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want to have to think about it. I want to be able to say, hey, you know what? I know that they got it and I know that they're taken care of. Not that I don't go back and check, because yes, I'm going to keep track of my own financials. Yes. But I want to know that I can trust an accounting service that's going to take care of things. And I know that they're on the up and up, and they are people of integrity, and they are going to take care of what's going on. But when you are doing that, get those bank statements out, find out where your money is going, make sure that you are taking care of yourself in the area of your finances. This year, I'm going to bring some other people in. We're going to talk about some financials, and we're going to talk about finances, because I want you to be healthy in that area too. I want the whole person. We're talking about being whole and beautiful. I want the whole person, and that is including your everything. And Kyra, you there? Your audio? You still here with me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay, good, good, good. I got you back for a few minutes here. Because we're getting closer to the time of like closing down the show, but I did want to ask you some of the questions that I did have. Um I'm trying to think, where do I start? Because I'm gonna have to have you come back too, so that we can do this again and I can get all of this in here. But one question was, how can they stay up to date with tax laws and changes? How can they do that?
They just have to visit www.iris.gov, and they have the new laws and changes that's going on. It's not that many this year. Basically, the main thing is that if you weren't able to claim your stimulus check, the
Mm-hmm.
third one, which was the $1,400, they are allowing you to claim that on your tax return, 2021. And their main thing is about the advanced child tax credit.
Yes.
And so I talked to Iris today, because remember we talked about that. And
Right.
so basically what they were saying is that if you have a parent who claims a child 1 year and then the other parent claims a child the other year,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen is that the first parent is not going to have to pay it back. But what they're going to do is whatever the total refund is, they're going to take the balance of what the first parent got, and then the second parent will get the balance. So
Okay.
y'all got that. So it's not, you get, the other parent don't need to get happy thinking, oh well, I'm claiming this year, I'm gonna get seven, eight, $9,000, and that's not the case. Especially if the first parent already got the monthly advanced child tax credits.
Okay.
Um, so that's the main thing that I really needed everybody to understand, because that was the big question that a lot of people were asking. Um, um, Yes, it was. Yeah, the main thing is really about the advanced child tax credit.
Yes.
Um, so now everybody have an understanding of that. But the main thing is that what me and Ms. Angela was talking about
It's just mainly making sure that if you're going to be a legitimate business, that you have your bank statements. Make sure that you have hard copies of your bank statements,
Yes.
at least for 3 years. Do not throw away your receipts. I have so many young people, they throw away their receipts because they say, well, I got it on my bank statement, I'm using my debit card. But the problem is that if you're going from different states and you're doing business, your bank statement may not tell them that you've been in Florida or you've been in Washington. They're just gonna say you swiped that card and you
Right.
went this place, but your receipt tells them exactly where you've been at. So you
Okay.
want to hold on to your receipts, especially your cash receipts. Um, and
No.
what I've started doing is I found out that they have these big 2 gallon Ziploc bags, and
Mm-hmm.
so I have started using those to keep up with my documents because they are so big that you can keep 12 months worth of bank statements. You can put your receipts in there. I'm trying to tell you, you can put a whole lot of stuff in those Ziploc bags, and and then you get you one of those banker boxes or get you a box and make sure you put that stuff up. So if you ever need it, then you can find it. And it's big enough that you can put your actual tax return in there when you get finished. So if you ever get randomly audited by the IRS or South Carolina Department of Revenue, they're starting to randomly audit people as well too. Then
Okay.
all of your stuff will be together. You have your tax return, you have your bank statements, you have your receipts, you have everything in one place in that Ziploc bag. So this is
Right.
something that I'm starting to implement with my business clients to make sure that they're keeping their things together. And it's cost effective and it doesn't take up a whole lot of space when you're doing that.
Right. And then that way when it's time for everything, they got everything in one place and they
Uh-huh.
can keep it organized that way. And that's an awesome thing to have. Kyra, I am going to have you come back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm
um
so sorry. I was
I, you're
so
fine. You're
sorry.
fine. I am glad that we got the information that we did get on tonight. But guys, I am gonna have Kyra come back on the show, and I'm gonna set up that time with her, and I am going to let you all know when that will be. We are gonna have her come back. We're gonna have her answer your questions. So if you have questions, you need to send them to wholebeautiful@gmail.com. And if it's dealing with accounting services, if it's dealing with bookkeeping, if it's dealing with payroll, if it is dealing with taxes, send those questions in. We're going to have her back. We're going to have her answer those questions for you and share some information with you. Whatever financial questions you may have, send them in because we want to know and we want to be able to get you the correct information because here on Whole and Beautiful, that's what we're about: information, revelation, and change. Kyra, thank you for hanging in there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
I can't
also.
see you, but I'm glad that you was there.
Oh, and I want to let everybody know W-2s, 1099s have to be out by January 31st, which is Monday. If you haven't
Yes.
did it, get them out. They charge you $50 per each person you are late. So get them out. They have to be postmarked by Monday, January 31st.
Okay, guys, let's get them out there. Kara, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Guys, I thank you for being with me on tonight. And I pray that you have the most amazing weekend. For those that maybe not have had the opportunity to listen to the whole show, go back and listen on tomorrow at 4 p.m. because we'll be right back here sharing this information with you. And join me next week, Friday at 7 p.m. Every Friday at 7 p.m. right here on Whole and Beautiful. I'll be on SIBN network and also ALH Broadcasting, and you can see it also on Whole and Beautiful Facebook page. So make sure that you come back and that you join us and that you realize that what I want you to know is that Whole and Beautiful is not just your destination, guys. It is most definitely your journey, and we're going to keep that journey flowing. Have an awesome and great and productive weekend, and I'll see you back here again next week on Friday, guys. Until
Bye
then,
bye.
bye. Thank you, Kara.
Thank you, Angela.
Oh, man.